Do you remember when you would play a game and actually feel something? Like you'd finish a mission or explore a new area, and then you would just sit there for a second contemplating what you just played? That feeling of being fully locked in, fully immersed, where the real world just basically disappeared for a while. I feel like a lot of us haven't felt that in years. And the first thing somebody says when you bring this up is, bro, it's because we got older. We have jobs now, responsibilities, life is busier, and we don't have 6 hours to sit in front of a TV on a Saturday anymore. And look, I get it. That makes sense on the surface, but I actually don't think that's the real reason. I think that's just an easy answer, an excuse. But the truth goes a lot deeper than that, at least for me. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today. I want you to think about games like old school Halo, GTA San Andreas, Red Dead Redemption 1, Fable, Skyrim, Fallout 3. Those games had something. You can't always put your finger on it, but you could feel it. People always say that games had a soul back then, and I think that's genuinely the best way to describe it. Every single one of those games felt completely unique. They had their own personality, their own identity, and you weren't sitting there thinking, oh, this feels like that other game I played. Each one felt like somebody poured their whole vision into it, and like it came from somewhere real. And here's the thing about that whole era of gaming. It was still a creative industry first and a business second. When developers sat down to make a game back then, the whole goal was just to make the most interesting, imaginative thing they possibly could. And if the game was genuinely good, then it sold. That was the whole model. Creativity led and then the money followed. And because of that, almost every game that came out felt like an original idea. And yes, sometimes you could tell a game took some inspiration from another one, but it never felt like copying. It felt like artists doing their own thing and occasionally borrowing an idea here and there. But then, gaming blew up, and I mean really blew up. And the bigger it got, the more money started flowing in. And when big money shows up to any industry, you already know what happens next. Publishing companies, investors, corporate executives, they all start getting involved. And it stops being about what's a cool idea and starts being about what makes the most money with the least amount of risk. And just like that, it became like every other industry out there. Because that's what every corporation does. They figure out how to deliver the least amount of value while extracting the most amount of profit. And gaming was not immune to that. And look, I'll be honest, I was actually one of the first people to play Fortnite, and when I played it, I genuinely didn't see the appeal, despite being on acid when I did play it. So when it did blow up the way that it did, I was actually kind of shocked. And regardless about how you or I feel about Fortnite, you can't deny what it did to the industry. It completely shifted the direction of gaming altogether. Because once companies saw the numbers, the player counts, and the revenue with the longevity, they stopped asking, what's our original idea? And they started asking, how do we copy this? And that's really where things started to go wrong. So what you started seeing was developers looking at games like Fortnite, GTA 5, Call of Duty, Roblox, games that were already proven to make billions, and just started reverse engineering them. And they basically were saying like, okay, this has a battle pass. Let's add a battle pass. This game has seasons, let's do seasons. This has microtransactions, let's stack those in. And instead of building something new and interesting, they were just recycling what already worked. And the result of that is basically what we've had for the last decade, which is slop. Copy and pasted games with no real identity, no real vision, which basically just became a checklist for monetization features wrapped in a new skin. And it's not just the games themselves either, it's the DLCs, it's the entire post-launch content. All of it got worse. I remember paying like 10 or 15 bucks for a story DLC back in the day and getting what felt like almost a new game. Witcher 3 is the perfect example, by the way, and shout out to CD Projekt Red because they're still one of the few companies out there that still get it. They deliver real, quality single-player experiences without bombarding you with nonsense. But that kind of value, that's pretty rare these days. Now you're paying more for less, and everyone just kind of accepts it, which made it even worse. Now, I do want to be clear, this isn't just another gaming is dead video. There's still great games being made out there, and there are indie developers that are putting out genuinely great games that still feel like they have a soul. But this video is really about the AAA space specifically, because that's what dominates the industry. That's what most people are buying and playing. And in that space, the philosophy of do the minimum, charge the maximum has taken over almost completely. There are exceptions, but they're rare enough that we celebrate them when they show up, which honestly says a lot about how bad the standard has gotten. And here's where I'll give you a bit of hope. I genuinely believe that GTA 6 has the potential to shift things, because Rockstar has always been one of those companies that over-delivers. And if this game finally does come out, it'll probably be around $80, which some people won't be too thrilled about, but it's gonna give you hundreds if not thousands of hours of real content. Not battle pass filler, but actual real content, which will set the new standard. It's gonna show other developers that over-delivering is still possible. And more importantly, it's gonna show players what they should actually be expecting from their games. And not every studio will follow, but some will, and that's gonna matter a lot. Look, maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe GTA 6 comes out, breaks every record, and every other company just keeps doing exactly what they're doing. That is possible. But I do think there's a real chance that one massive, genuine over-delivering game could remind the entire industry what gaming was supposed to feel like. Because the soul isn't gone forever. It's just buried under battle passes and Season 1 content drops. And somewhere out there, there's still developers who remember why they started making games in the first place. Here's hoping that GTA 6 gives them the confidence to go back to that. If you guys enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot if you would subscribe and leave a like. Let me know in the comments if you agree and if you think that gaming could possibly get revived by GTA 6. I personally hope so. And if you guys want to get in on the discussion and talk with me live, I'm live every single night at 12:30 Eastern Time at midnight. And I would love to see you there and talk to you about all of this as well. With that being said, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you guys in Vice City.